Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Okay, I can hear. I should test
Hi.
that we can hear each other on the stream. All right.
Hello.
Hi, Captain. Welcome to obviously the UTA Live.
Happy to be here.
Yes. So obviously, you have recently been elected into the United Trickles National Parliament.
Yes, I have, and I'm working closely with Xavian to try and help the non-PvPers, so the builders and grinders, feel more safe on the server.
That's obviously something I believe that you're passionately quite into. Obviously, you are currently a member of the Warhorde terrorist group, correct?
Well, terrorist is a bit of a stretch, you know.
Okay. Well,
I
how
think for
about?
both sides.
All right, let's just circle back here to obviously okay. So let's talk about Rambo. So obviously, as you know, in the U10 live that was posted recently, Rambo committed another armed attack on player Suti, who is the chief executive officer of the United Trickles News Live, and so. Basically, we believe that the attack was unprovoked. We don't understand why it happened, and I believe that the Warhorde told Rambo to follow to some sort of very terrorist-style do not kill and do kill list.
Yes, we do have a kill list and an off limits list. Yes.
Okay, so one thing I want to understand is basically because obviously is sometimes terrorist groups such as CADA and a lot of the Chinese empire, the ones that invaded you back in the Great War, use this sort of system as a kill and do not kill system. Wessex.
Yeah.
As a thing that was quite operative during that time, CADA killed people that he obviously didn't like, and he put it on a list and stuff like that. We want to know why Wessex are kind of idolising with that same sort of system. Obviously, as they know the horrors of what happens when CADA and his teams come about. But obviously, Wessex we know is peaceful to an extent.
We've always offered protection to anyone who needs it. You know, to Soltonia, we offer them protection. We've even done the same to both you and Trump.
Yep.
If they were needed, you know. And the reason why we had to enforce this kill list and not kill list is because we do have a lot of, for lack of a better term, PvP junkies, you know?
Yes.
Similar to Rambo and Todd. And to try and get them focused, it's a bit of a difficult task because they're very one-track minded.
Yes. Obviously.
Rambo.
Sorry, go on.
Is a new addition to our group, and he did not know some of the rules we had. And so therefore he acted as a free agent during that time, which we did try to discuss with him and trying to curtail him and hold him back from killing innocent people.
Correct.
That is why we have the list.
Obviously, so what you're trying to say here is that the Wessex list isn't a havoc list, so it's a list of things that you guys can use as diplomatic sort of relations to make sure that people aren't getting killed for the wrong reasons and stuff like that. Okay, another question for you here now is obviously you guys alliance with the nation of Soltonia. Are you aware that Strowalker was deemed an international terrorist to the United Trickles High Courts? Strowalker was known to be a murderer of multiple Treeden officials and United Trickles national officials, and I believe Ruler was told about this and still continue to support Soltonia here.
Well, this information was never given to me. We decided to protect Soltonia when they were getting harassed by Abuja. We offered them protection and we allowed them to join the more casual side of Warhorde.
Yeah. Okay. Obviously, Soltonia. When United Trickles DOW, the Protection Forces for Peace and Intelligence around the world, invaded Soltonia, we made it very clear that it was an anti-terrorist war and that it was to remove terrorist power from control. And your leader of the Warhorde, Ruler, as you know, he put into player announcements here that they would be backing and supporting Soltonia. So this kind of is confusing to us because it feels like Wessex may have been idolising with terrorist power.
So from my knowledge of Soltonia, which is a bit limited, I must admit, however, I do believe that most of them are only builders and grinders and not really that good at PvP, while Stro might be an outlier, the rest of them are, they're not really much of a threat, and we did think it was a bit overboard to go and attack this nation which could not defend itself properly.
Okay, obviously, Strowalker has deemed himself invincible in the past. So he's made him. He joined a bunch of rebel clans and a lot of anti-United Records groups that were deemed terrorists when it became about. Obviously, when it comes to Rambu, we're not sure. So Rambu was removed from the AA alliance, which is the Abuja alliance, for traitoring because he illegally and undiplomatically opened talks with Wessex without the king's permission. The king, or sorry, the leader, I believe, Bowmaster was not very happy, and that's why he was exiled. And I believe that may have been why Rambu idolized with Strowalker. Obviously, I believe Rambu was the one that invited Strowalker, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I can't remember the other one, but certainly, definitely did join. Obviously, M9
Well,
Intelligence have declassified a lot of information recently. So
well,
some of the some of the information I've got here on my phone here is that Wessex were using Rambu because they knew that they had an advantage because Rambu was looking for a place to go. And we also have intelligence that obviously Strowalker did join the Warhorde Discord group a couple of times, and I believe Wormis was also a member, and Wormis is an active service member of the Americas Nation.
So I invited Stro to join Warhorde to help protect him and his group from being harassed by, I think, mainly Abuja, which is obviously Bowmaster and Quincy, and a few other people that were at that time harassing him. I had permission from Ruler to invite him, and so we did as a way of protecting him. We invited Wormis because we were playing on a different server called GeoQuest, and he was also there and needed a place to needed a town to come join on that server.
Yeah. Okay.
And we
So
offered
obviously,
that to him as well as the rest of Stroh's group who wanted to come join for GeoQuest.
yeah.
Wormis is part of that one. Whatever he does in Concord is not aligned with us.
Okay. So I believe that Wormis is still obviously friends with America's group. I have no intelligence that says that he's not. But one thing I need to make sure we're clear on is that with the M9 intelligence group, we have to be able to understand threats to incoming United Records nationals. So when we have Ruler and we have Wessex threatening war, it's very difficult to decipher who is leaking and who is not. And unfortunately, some of those times people get wrong judgments. Like obviously yourself, you were exiled by from Treeden, which was a complete accident. Wrong
And I
intelligence.
understand why. I obviously understand why.
Yeah, I do know this. But what I'm trying to say to you as well is that with Wessex, Wessex is known to try and be a peaceful establishment. You guys have always been somewhat peaceful. But what we want to know is how come the sudden flip from non-peacefulness happened, and why Ruler is reaching to Iska and KOV to try and fight an illegal war against unarmed individuals such as Quacker and Suti. Obviously, Rambo was put in a bad position on Wessex, and so it's kind of idolizing with the CADA situation, where obviously the CADA terrorism, which led to multiple deaths and a lot of rage quitting. But we just want to know why the treaty was broken to start off with, if you got that information at all.
Okay, so from where I stand with the entire server politics to begin with, I personally believe that Quincy and Bowmaster, and I think Tua as well, do pose a threat not just to Wessex but to the rest of the server. If they were to get bored, they could come after you. I obviously apologize for Rambo's actions. He should not have killed Quacker. He should not have messed with you guys.
Yeah.
That is not what we stand for, and it's a more recent development as Warhorde has grown, and we have been able to acquire more PvP talent. As previously we had very little, and our main our main way of defending ourselves was using the forts and defences that are dotted around Warhorde and
Okay.
Wessex's Keep.
So, can you inform me if there will be any behavioural issues or suspension of Rambu's membership, or maybe even a disciplinary action with him?
I can't say that there'll be any actions taken, as I am not in charge of that. That is more of a ruler question. However, again, we have streamlined his assaults to only be against the people that we deem as a threat to Wessex
Yeah.
and as a threat to the rest of the server.
So, how come he's still attacking unarmed individuals?
Because he is very hard to contain.
Okay. So, why do you want
And it's not my
somebody?
responsibility.
So, what I want to know as well now then is, why is Wessex allowing individuals that can't obviously listen to orders properly to be obviously a member of Wessex and the Warhorde?
A need for power and for skill. As of right now, if we did not have Rambo, or if we did not have Omnipotent, or if we did not have a couple of the others you have seen, we would not be able to stand a chance against Stro or Bowmaster. Not Stro, sorry,
Yeah.
Quincy or Bowmaster, as we simply aren't skilled enough. We need strong PvPers like Rambo just in case.
Okay. Currently, intelligence reports that your army does not have the capability to be able to conflict. Obviously, this is not any government entity. This is all UTAN information. UTAN operates as an independent party from any government, state, or entity within the government of United Tree Accords. Therefore, intelligence may be wrong. Sorry, I just have to put that disclaimer, otherwise people go mad like ruler and stuff. Obviously, we report that you guys don't actually have the most official power to be able to do anything against them right now, even with Rambu. I mean, we can see from intelligence here in the in-game chat, Rambu is always killed by Bowmaster and Toa. There has never been a time, officially within Conquer, that I believe that I've seen Rambu kill any of them.
Well, that is mainly due to the fact that our time zones are very spread out, and we've not had a chance to do any sort of coordination. So a lot of the times, it is people going out on skirmishes and then paying the price for not preparing correctly.
Okay, I understand. So one thing I'd also like to mention with Wessex is that we don't fully understand why the diplomats were refused, but what we do know is that United Tree Accords diplomats were refused. Obviously, you know, Rivula, he failed to attend a peace conference with us. You know, we spent time developing and persuading Bowmaster and Toa to attend this peace conference to try and work out what we can do for Wessex. And all Ruler ever did with me was disrespect me and discard me as something that isn't, as he puts in quote, I have no reason to talk to you because you are not the leader of the nation. And so obviously UTAN operates as an international accord for peace, security and trade. And so when the nations that are coming together to make a peace deal through an entity that is meant to be non-neutral, so not non-neutral, neutrality. So like we come to Wessex to say, right, you can host a peace conference in Treeden with them to try and work out what we can do to stop war. And when he doesn't do that, it kind of portrays that you guys don't want peace. You guys ramble on about how you want peace so badly, and when we try and give you it, they don't. You guys don't listen.
I mean, well, since I have joined Concord, which was a little under a month ago, there's been several attacks on my life for no apparent reason by Quincy and Bowmaster. Why should then we be made to discuss peace with them when they are the ones that have been aggressive towards us?
Okay, well, obviously we understand this, and it's completely valid, and you have every right to be angry about this. But obviously, in order to become the better person, we believe that putting things in behind the past is the best way forward with the server. So when we are trying to actively, so Bowmaster and Toad do not count as the United Tree Accords. They count as the defense forces for the United Tree Accords. We contract them to look after our members, and you know, look after. So you get what I mean? So when people say why should we work with the United Tree Accords? Because the DOW are not the United Tree Accords. They are the defense forces of the world order.
Are they still the defense force of the world order?
So we'll find that out tonight, approximately at the Parliament, because there is an electoral bill that will. So it's called the Populations Trust Bill that will be passed hopefully tonight, which will obviously induct a review of the defence forces, whether we actually trust them to keep defending on our people, and obviously if the defence loses, so when the people vote against it or for it, we will then have a re-election or vote, which obviously you as yourself MP should be alerted of anyway, is that, if the defence forces can continue into the future.
Well, again, from what I've seen of your defense force, since when is attacking, a fairly new player of the server, such as myself, or other members of Wessex defense?
And I understand that, and obviously I've tried to have these talks with Toa and Bowmaster in the past, but Bowmaster and Toa have the legal rights within the so it revolts back to the Armed Forces Declaration. So during the multiple wars that happened, the defense forces, the armed forces, were told that they could, inflict what they deem is retaliation action or valid retaliation action. So obviously, if they believe that Wessex is a threat to them, they get legal access to be able to perform that retaliation.
Okay. And when exactly has Wessex been a threat to them within, the past month? Besides the war, like before this war had to,
the Great War,
war talks. Yeah.
And when they broke the treaty. So obviously, as you know, the treaty was broken. The Treaty of International Peace between Wessex and everybody. When they even joined the terms and conditions to join the UTA itself, they agreed that ruler would never become leader. And as this day, we believe that Wessex is still a member of the UTA, Trade Accord, which is a different branch of the United Trade Accords, as you know. But what we're trying to perform and trying to propel is that war is not good, and we don't want war. Nobody wants war, and we understand that obviously the DOW have been attacking constantly and relentlessly in the past and stuff, So I just want to talk to Ruler live now, so I'll say it now. Ruler, we want nothing but what is the best for the United Tree Accords, and so if that requires that we work with a treaty deal, we'll work with you. But what we are trying to tell you is that Bowmaster and Toa are not the United Tree Accords itself. They are the DOW contracted forces that are set in place to defend from incoming aggression. They were set forward. So the armed forces, Captain, were created when the China situation happened. China was invading UTA towns by the day, and so we had to set up forces formerly known as the Armed Forces, which is the AF of the United Tree Accords.
And isn't it, we've had to also implement our own defences against your defence force with allying ourselves with people like ISCA and KOV.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's move on to that if you think that's best. So, obviously, with ISCA are racist, xenophobic, Islamophobic, homophobic, transphobic Nazi clan that idolize themselves with hatred towards individual groups and very disgusting ideologies against different religions. And just all over really wrong rules. Now, I want to know personally why the Wessex clan would even associate themselves with this sort of a group.
So where have you learned about the information you've just given me? Because I am in the ISCA Discord, and I can read you one of their main rules is they have a zero tolerance policy for anyone being racist within their clan.
Okay, let me go ahead and get this screenshot for you of the rules here. So here we go. So
Well, well,
rule number 2: absolute zero tolerance for any type of LGBTQ or progressive propaganda. 3: absolutely zero tolerance for any Islamic, leftic, anti-Semitic, Zionist, or liberal propaganda. Number 4. Sorry, and then we go down to here. Those are the rules.
well, obviously they are a Christian Minecraft group. They would
Mhm.
not like, and you are allowed, from my knowledge, if you to be gay or Muslim in ISKA as long as you're not publicly parading about in their Discord. That's all they ask. They like to keep it professional.
Mhm.
They don't like, and again, if I can read you some of the other rules.
I have the rules here, right the way down to number 12.
Oh, there's 2 more.
Okay.
But they're not as important. Rule 11. Genuine racism or race-based bigotry will not be tolerated. Everyone is given an equal opportunity.
Well, that rule cannot be correct if number 3 is in stance.
They just do not. They just don't like their members discussing it within their Discord or within the servers they're on, as they like to appear as a more professional and sophisticated group.
But that's not
Their words.
they're not. That's not showing that they're sophisticated or anything like that. What they're actually showing is no maturity levels whatsoever, and that they find it that they can't even mature enough to be able to hear any of this information. A group, a group that works is a community that isn't censored for certain backgrounds.
ISKA are very good at their job. They are a very competent military force.
Of course, and I know that you share ties with Iska, and Iska itself are obviously when they're a good clan. They are a good clan, but Demon Killer was very rude to me on the first day I even met him. Very, very, very,
Uh,
very
uh,
ignorant. Her, sorry. Very rude, very ignorant, and self-centered to me. It was actually very off-putting and made me think, actually, no, I don't really want to work with Iska, to be honest with you. I believe the
I
words were,
mean,
Wendy, you shut up, or get out of this VC, or something like that. And I remember it very, very clearly. And this was in the Warhorde VCs, and obviously they try to promote their rules everywhere they go.
as I think I've heard both sides, both from you and from Demon herself, about what happened.
Hmm.
I think it was mainly a miscommunication. Demon was in there trying to speak to Ruler,
No.
and I feel, and you were also trying to ask a question,
So
and
I
so
was in that
therefore
VC first,
things became
having a
heated.
conversation
Yes,
with him,
during
and
a Wessex operation, correct, or a
no,
Warhorde operation?
no, we were just having a casual VC, and then Demon decided
Hmm.
that it would be funny to just cut into the VC and override me completely, and I wasn't going to have that.
Well, again, there is also a chain of command in Warhorde, and
Yeah, but
even
there's no
if
rules
they're
that
not a
says
member
that
of
they're not allowed to
Warhorde,
cut in.
Iska has, a level is considered beyond grunt or foot soldier status.
I understand that, but what you see, I wasn't there as a grunt at the time. You know, I was there as
Mm.
a United True Cult leader, trying to work on things with them, and I wasn't there as a grunt to perform as a grunt for the Warhorde. I was asked to join that server by multiple Warhorde people because they believed that I was an asset. So when people
And,
say that,
you we still believe you are an asset, even if you don't want to join Warhorde. I mean, I personally think it'd be useful to work close together.
Mhm.
Each side has a lot of good ideas, and if implemented correctly, could actually make the server a better
Of
place.
course, I love the idea of working with the Warhorde and the UTA, but right now I do not agree with some of the things that they are purveying against Rice, like literal no non-PvPers. Purveying.
Uh, who is Rice? I'm not sure I've met
Sorry,
them.
no, not rice. Rice. I was going to say rice farmers, but we don't have rice in this game.
Oh,
Like,
oh
tell
no.
me a single person that I know would actually want to fight if I put an announcement saying who would want to fight, and you'll probably tell me Toa, Bowmaster, and Wormus and stuff like that. But nobody would
Rambo.
physically want to fight. Rambo's not a United Trade
Rambo would.
National member anymore. He's
Oh,
been
okay. No.
suspended.
Hmm. I mean, I did think that this would be more of a fun event if it was more of a server thing and we agreed on rules beforehand.
Of
Like
course,
maybe no actual stealing, no actual breaking anything,
yeah.
more of a bit of a fun PvP event.
Hmm.
Just
Yeah, I agree with that. I like this idea of this, but you see, what we're trying to
the
say
idea of a
to you is,
geopolitical server is, or this part, which is the more politics side, but also the war side. And so for the PvP, I thought it could be nice if we did have wars set up, but there's no real harm in them.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
just
yeah.
have a chance to test out your weapons and whatever else you've made.
Okay, let's talk about that a bit more actually. So obviously, as you know, Ruler drones on about how his clan is being harassed and killed every day. And obviously, you probably know the saying because you're British: two wrongs don't make a right.
Yeah,
And so
I know the saying. I don't fully
Ruler
agree with it, but yes.
Ruler is going to now and try and do the exact same to what obviously his people happened to other
Mm.
people, and I just think he can't be abdicating for peace while he's then saying to people, let's actually go kill them all, let's just go murder them all and do exactly what they do back. Actually, I have some information for you now.
Yes.
A DOW forces member, the leader of the DOV, DOW would like to join actually now. So I'm gonna go and ask him, Bo, if you're here,
By all means.
join the general VC for me, and I'll drag you in. Bo, sorry,
Hello?
I'm trying to wait for Bo to. There we go. Hey, Bo.
Oh,
Or just
hello,
join.
Bo. I don't think we've met before.
This is Egglord. So this is Bowmaster. Bowmaster. This is
I've
Captain,
gathered.
an MP for the United Shekels Parliament that was recently
Okay.
elected. Your party lost 0, like 100% loss in the elections. By the way. Okay.
So I wanted to come in and talk about the whole friend or like not friendly PvP but PvP event where we would have fun and there'd be no stealing and stuff. I
Yeah.
did actually advocate for that to Wessex members, and they, instead of accepting or wanting to do a thing where we would just have like fun PvP, they instead went to the leader of KOV and told him to threaten me. So
Which
I'm
Wessex members
really,
did you tell?
Ruler.
I told Xavier Ruby, and I made a direct I guess it was in a peace meeting. I asked for a PvP match between me, Rula, Deadly, and whichever other leaders of Wessex there would be for fun.
Again,
And
this
they
sounds a bit
said
like a
immediate.
Wessex leadership not listening to its members again, which is not a surprise.
No comment.
Anyway.
Yeah, and so I just wanted to say that we are totally up for like a fun PvP event if you guys want,
The
because
DOW.
we get bored. But
Hmm.
yeah.
I mean, I think instead of trying to have this war, which it does seem a bit pointless, why not we do just have like you, Quincy, Tua versus Omnipotent, Rambo, and Garrett, like your PvPers versus our PvPers.
Garrett's back
Yeah, that'd be
in
fine.
Warhorde?
Hmm?
Oh no, hang on, I'm
Yeah.
thinking of Garcot.
No, it's a different guy.
Okay, anyway, right.
Yeah, not Karragot, Garrett with the G.
Garrett, okay, got it. Alright, thank you, Bo.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I'll see you.
yeah, see you soon.
Ta-da.
Okay, so, what are your professional opinions on what Bo has just said?
I mean, Bo seems
Garrett?
reasonable to me. Like, again, I've never disliked or hated Bo.
Mm-hmm.
I found his actions to be annoying at times when I've been trying to get things done, and I think a lot of people would agree.
Mm-hmm.
He's been a bit of a pain and a nuisance, but which is the main thing,
Mm-hmm.
And I guess, and you could say the same for Rambo, and I think you could say the same for Todd as
Todd,
well.
yeah.
More of just being nuisances.
I think what needs to go home from this is that there's definitely needs to be some sort of serious chat between the Wessex lot to say, like, look, you need to listen to your people, sort of thing. You understand?
Yeah, I understand.
So now that you know fully everything that we're trying to achieve here, and that we're not just out to get you guys, can you try and inform us if Wessex will go ahead and agree to some sort of maybe a conflict, like an ending of a war conflict?
I can certainly bring this up with the higher ups of Warhorde as well as the rest of the coalition.
Of course.
But I wouldn't hold your breath. A lot of them want this to happen.
I agree. Well, okay. Thank you very much, Captain, and we'll look forward to seeing you again in the Parliament.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks
See.
for having me.
No problem. I'll see you soon.